Eva, I'm very happy to welcome you again in Bihar. You participated in the last exhibition during Bihar Museum Binale. People had so much of interest because you allowed visitors to touch your artwork. That was for the first time. So whoever saw that exhibition and your work were very impressed. And then I requested, and you were kind enough to agree to hold a detailed, bigger exhibition of your artwork. And they find, besides the people who have touched it, people also realize that it's very mystical. And India is a country with a lot of mysticism. It's very famous. And there are many commonalities between India and Mexico. So I am very hopeful and sure that this exhibition, this larger exhibition of yours, will become very popular, not among public at large, but our art students, art connoisseurs. They will come in big number because you have a very good number of visitors coming to our museum and seeing our exhibitions. So this will be a completely new experience. So I'll ask you to introduce your exhibition.
Sort of stumbled onto this, and people ask me what kind of technique it is, and I don't have a name for it because just the way I played around and experimented with it. Basically what I do is I apply many layers of different colors of acrylic, and then with wood carving tools I carve it, and I carve it in very organically. I start with just a few lines, and then that will basically bring back some memories or some feelings that I associate with whatever I'm looking at, and then I continue with that until it's resolved, and then and this is how I make all my work. It isn't planned. It's just something that I'm always surprised to see at the very end. So basically, what I have, because it is carved and they look like paintings, but I feel that they're like sculptures, I insist that people touch them as a way of verifying what they're seeing. And as a result, I have discovered that people have a very strong reaction to my work. And they become, it's almost like there's an exchange of energy between them and the artwork. And that has fascinated me to the point that I'm now exploring what touch does to people and how touch is so, it really affects us in an emotional way, in a very deep, really profound way that other senses just don't have that. And I discovered that a touch is the very first sense that we develop as living beings, not just human beings. All living beings first develop a sense of touch. And so therefore, it's kind of like the mother of all senses. And so when we touch, we really are experiencing something very, very profound. And what I've also discovered is that touch is essential to life. Even animals. For example, they have found that if a baby rat or mouse doesn't get touched by its mother for over 45 minutes, it will actually become emotionally deprived and suffers. And the same thing is true of human beings. If children are not touched as babies, they will often die, and if not, they will be stunted. They will be stunted both emotionally as well as physically. Their growth will be stunted, and that children who are touched a lot are far less violent, are far less prone to aggression, as are, for example, other primates. And therefore, I feel that there is something about touch that can actually help us move towards more peace in the world. And I believe that we
Yes,
really
yes.
need it right now.
No, I fully agree. And it has, your works has a lot of layers.
Yes.
And it's abstract and many colors. So, like normally one of your work I am able to see here, that appears it has 6-7 layers of paint. Is it true?
That's more like 20.
Oh, yes, yes.
That's a lot
So,
of different.
so what is in your mind? How you make that? What exactly will be the outcome? Do you know, or you start with something and the ultimate result that come out, the final product that comes out, is it right from the beginning? You are able to conceive that, or it is a process? You reach to that level.
Process is kind of like having a baby. You have all these expectations of what it's going to be like when it's born. Well, you can just discard that, because once a child is born, the child is going to be whomever that child is. And so we as artists, I feel we're just basically vessels through which our creations move through. I don't make like I said, I don't make a sketch, I don't make a drawing before I start. I really work organically. I don't know what it's gonna look like when it's finished, but I do know, for example, I do know what color can do. And so, for example, I have discovered that if I layer certain colors in a certain way, I can achieve the look of silver or gold. And that's something that, I do want to have in some of my artworks, have that. But it's really not something that I know what it's gonna be like at the end.
Good. Your background is from Mexico, so that background, because Mexico is so famous for mysticism, Maya civilization and all that. Does that has any effect on your work?
Absolutely. In fact, I made this whole series because I wanted to make a series that connected with India. And in the West, everybody thinks of India as being a mystical and spiritual place. And so I thought, okay, we have a lot of really ancient peoples in Mexico too, just like you do in India, and very diverse and very ancient cultures. And so I then studied the Maya culture in particular, which is a culture from Mesoamerica and both southern Mexico and Guatemala, and discovered that they were extremely mystical. They were always searching that connection with something greater than themselves, and they did it by studying the movement of the astral bodies, right? They were great astronomers. They had wonderful observatories, planetariums, from which they could look at the stars and the moons and the planets and everything else in the universe, and they could trace them. And on the basis of that, they developed over 20 calendars, different calendars. People think, oh, it's like the Aztec calendar. No, the Aztecs came much later than that, a much newer culture. And the Aztec calendar is just one calendar. But the Maya calendars, they have over 20. And so that means that they really knew the cosmos, and they use them for helping them align the energies of human beings. Just kind of like Indians, where you use
Here in Bihar also we had Aryabhatta. Here only this state, very close to this place, he had his observatory and everything. He was the first person to do all this on astronomy. He invented zero, very famous for that. So luckily that this place in India is very famous for that.
Absolutely.
So it will be very nice that these two cultures meet. I'm very sure that this will be, especially it will be very. And another good thing that I find, most of your works are quite good in size. So people, people have can spend time seeing. I think if I am allowed, I will devote half an hour for each painting. So though the number is only 8 paintings, it will take 3-4 hours if you want to go in great detail.
Yes, I think that the pieces will appreciate it. They love to be touched and experienced.
Very good, very good, very good. Thank you, thanks a lot. We will have very nice. This exhibition will be here for more than a month. almost a month. So people will have enough chance, not only from people from our estate, from the neighboring estates all over India, people will come and see this exhibition.
I think it's 6 weeks, isn't it? It's
Quite good time. So lot many people will be able to see. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank